where do you think the current market is at, and what do you see the market doing in the next few years?
Well, man, you know, we got so many things coming to the city of Atlanta. I say, construction is the way to go, because like you guys preaching about, you know, creating your own comps, you know, being able to, you set up yourself when you can build. And, you know, if you go buy a certain amount of land, you can just build the whole subdivision or just do however you want to do. And that's, to me, the way to go, because land is land. It's plenty of land out here. You know, it's a lot of opportunities. It's just about finding the right deals. And that's the biggest part, if you ask me about anything, finding the right deals in construction, budgeting, and, you know, relationships.
What's up, guys? This is Geno J, and welcome to the Geno J Podcast. And on this show, I like to interview other successful entrepreneurs so it brings value to you and what you're doing in your business. And on this episode, I have a very special treat for you. I have a good friend of mine who's been in the real estate industry for over 24 years. He's wholesaled over 1,000 houses. He's building from the ground up. He's done a lot of fix and flips. So let me introduce to you our guest, Mr. John Stafford. What's up, brother?
Hey, man, what's going on?
Man, appreciate you coming on the show.
Hey, man.
I'm excited to get right in it so everybody can learn some of these gems and learn from some of your experience. But before we get started, do you play pool?
A little something, man.
Little something? Well, we about to find out. Let's go, bro. Well, because you are the guest, I always like the guest bless the table with breaking first. So it's on you, my brother.
Okay.
So let's dive right in, man. I know you got 24 years of real estate experience. Mm-hmm. What was it that made you decide real estate was the thing you wanted to do?
Man, crazy story, man. Well, right out of high school, I used to play ball at this gym. And right out of high school, my daughter was born. So 5 days after I graduated high school, I had a daughter into this world. Wow. So for me, it was like, all right, I got to get it together, because, you know, being at 18, bringing a kid into the world, I just had to figure it out. I was like, I got to do something that's going to be beneficial for my daughter. So that was my why coming into the business.
Absolutely, man. But with that being your why, mm-hmm. What was the reason you chose real estate? So, because I'm sure you probably could have thought of other stuff, but why was it real estate specifically?
So the gym I used to play ball at, this guy that ran the gym always had like the flyest cars. You know, he always, you know, you could tell somebody that's doing well for themselves. And he saw me in the gym, and then he didn't see me for a minute. So he started asking around like, yo, where John at? It was like, man, John had a daughter. You know, he got a daughter. He trying to do what he got to do. So the next time I saw him, he was like, man, I heard you had a daughter. I had a picture of her in my dash. He had like walked me out to my car, I had a picture of her in my dash. He was like, man, you know what? When all your friends go off to college, I'm gonna show you something to change your life. So what it was real estate. He told me to come pick him up at his home in Alpharetta at 10 o'clock. I was there at like 6:30. So when he woke up, he called me. He was like, man, I'll be ready in about another hour. About 10 o'clock. Mm-hmm. I was like, man, I'm already in the driveway. So he laughed. He was like, man. So got right to it, started learning pre-foreclosures, and that was my introduction to the business.
So that's definitely a blessing, man. So it sounded like you had, you know, somewhat of a mentor out the gate.
For sure.
Right now, it's a lot of people that want to get into real estate. Real estate is such a broad topic because there's a lot of different lanes. And I know you said you got involved in pre-foreclosures. But today, if there's anybody out there that want to get into real estate, what would you say the first couple steps they need to do to get in?
Mentor. Find a mentor, find somebody that's actively in the business, doing the business, and do whatever's necessary to get involved. Add some type of value. Don't just go pay for mentorship. Add value to that mentorship. You know, some people feel like, oh, I paid this amount of money. Now you sit back and you drive the car. No, you still got work to do. Just because you're paying the money don't mean that, that's going to create your success. So you have to be a real student and add some type of value as well as paying for the mentorship.
Gotcha. Man, that's dope. That's some dope game, man. I'm glad you shared that. With that being said, man, when you first started in real estate, learning pre-foreclosures, what were some of those early challenges or some things that you kind of had to overcome in those early states getting in?
Sacrificing, man. Sometimes, they had a RIA group. At this time, it was Georgia RIA, right? It was only one RIA group, and a RIA group is a Real Estate Investment Association. So at this time, we talking about 2000. There's no, internet. We don't have all these tools and things. So Georgia RIA had all the systems and everything. You can go in there and sit down and network with people. They got subgroups and, networking. So where you want to spend most of your time at? That place. I lived in there every single day. I had my daughter with me at times. People saw me with my daughter. They was like, man, this dude in here with his daughter. Wow, okay. Even the lady that worked at the front desk, they knew me. So at first I'm paying a membership. Got cool with the lady at the front desk, and then I wasn't paying a membership. So I was making so many sacrifices, man. But I went 90 days without a deal.
Wow.
90 days, and when it was my cell phone, at the time I had a Metro PCS cell phone. My phone was off, and I was able to get it turned back on, and I created a deal like 2 weeks later after that.
So 90 days to get that first deal, man, you got your phone turned back on. What was some of the lessons you learned in those first 90 days?
You know what's crazy, man? I used to come down to Pryor Street, and they had a daily report building. A lot of people don't know that. A house has to be listed publicly for 4 weeks before it goes to foreclosure.
Okay.
A lot of people don't know that. So they had a daily report building. You come down and you pay $1 for the newspaper, and you do your research. So you go do your research. And I was in Georgia RIA so much that I ran into a guy. He was like, man, I got a pre-foreclosure I'm working on right now. This is what you really do? Because I see you in here all the time. So, when that opportunity presented itself, I'm like, yeah, I'm working on it, man. I can make it happen. I just need to get in front of somebody. So he took me to a deal and we JV'd on it. And come to find out, the person that bought it from me that I've been known for, I knew prior to getting in real estate, he turned around and sold it and made a profit from it. So it was just like a snowball effect. But I took the seller and her son to the closing, to and from the closing. That was my very first deal, and I made $10,000.
Wow. So wholesaling, how long was it before you got into the fix and flip game?
Fix and flips really wasn't my forte, right?
It's on you.
I did a few JV and partnerships on the fix and flip side. And the market crashed before I really personally got into some real flips. I did some little cosmetic stuff that we used to do back in the day, but before I got into real flips, like a flip I did in 2018, 2019, I had 700 square feet on the back of a home. So to me, that was like new construction.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? You added 700 square feet on the back of a home. That's to me, that was like my intro to like going into like new construction at that point, because it was a huge renovation. We took everything down to the studs. Like, the only thing we didn't do was pour a foundation, like a slab foundation. Other than that, everything was new.
Man, them gut jobs, man, they a beast, bro.
Yeah, because you don't know what's behind the wall.
You don't, and you don't know all the other shit that you're gonna run into when you're doing those gut jobs. Because I did a lot of fix and flips. And then when I did my first addition, man, it's way more work than doing a new construction, because you add on, you trying to fix the old stuff. So yeah, that's a lot that goes into that. Transitioning, man, with this current market, man, what do you think, where do you think the current market is at, and what do you see the market doing in the next few years?
Well, man, we got so many things coming to the city of Atlanta. It's I say construction is the way to go, because like you guys preaching about, creating your own comps, being able to, you set up yourself when you can build. And, if you go buy a certain amount of land, you can just build the whole subdivision or just do however you want to do. And that's, to me, the way to go, because land is land. It's plenty of land out here. It's a lot of opportunities. It's just about finding the right deals. And that's the biggest part, if you ask me about anything, finding the right deals in construction, budgeting, and, relationships.
Yeah. I know you got a property right now, man, on Rockwell. Tell us a little bit about that, because I know before we kind of got into our conversation, you said it's been on the market for 90 days. What do you contribute the wait time to, and then what's a learning lesson that you can learn from the one that you're doing right now?
Man, well over 90 days, currently under contract, looking to get this thing closed out. What I would do different on this property is I had the property too long, man. We dealing with a property I had for over two years, right? And just, when you have a property that long and you're dealing with lenders and you're dealing with, you got holding costs. These are things that you got to account for. We started out, the property didn't appraise for what we needed to appraise for. So we dealing with that issue. We were in a gentrifying neighborhood, so everybody loved the home. They were just unsure about the neighborhood. So we're dealing with that. You definitely don't want to be the first one to be in a neighborhood with a certain amount of experience. This is my second new construction, so to be over 100 days, I'm in it. Like, I'm in the ugly side. The people that if you know me, mindset is something I really preach about, but everything been tested. You know what I mean? I'm stretched all the way to the max on this one, and it's just what it is. It's part of being in the business. This the real shit.
How do you, I've been there too, man, because real estate is up and down, and I'm always curious to understand the mindset of other investors, builders. When you in a property, you've been in it too long, of course you're gonna learn and reevaluate like what you could have done differently, but how do you deal with the emotional stress? I don't know if emotional stress is right, but how do you deal with the day-to-day stress that comes along with this shit?
It's emotional, man. Like, you want to see a grown man cry with the ugly face? It's very emotional, man. Just dealing with it, man. Just, keeping my faith and praying about it, man. And talking to my wife, my spouse, that's my partner. You know what I'm saying? Everything that's going on, we both holding each other up. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of like how this has been working out for us around this time around. Now, mind you, when I met my wife, I was basically living out of my car, homeless.
Oh, wow.
So she's seen me from at that point when the market crashed to turn around to where we bought the house that she wanted, her dream home, and that's where we are right now. You see what I'm saying? So she's seen me come from zero all the way to where we are now, but now we're back facing a huge challenge, and we've been here before.
Yeah. So
now it's talking about like how do we get through it? Because we know we're gonna get through it. It's just about how and what's the next step.
Man, let's dig a little deeper on that, man. How long you and your wife been together?
Been together 15 years.
15 years.
Yep.
So that's a blessing within itself to be with somebody that's been there from day one to help you elevate and go up. Because I have, me and my wife, we've been together 20 years. And
Okay.
like, we started from the bottom with zero, struggling, facing foreclosure, the whole nine. My question is, man, because me and my wife, we go through, like, anything I'm going through, she going through, and vice versa.
Right.
How do you balance that, man, with kids and business going up, you having a bad year? How do you balance that with your wife, man?
Man, it's really about the biggest part with me and my wife is, and I feel like anybody, any man or woman, when you have a spouse and you're in business, my wife, she wears several hats. She's an accountant. She's a real estate agent to help me. She became in 2012 to assist me with all my endeavors in real estate. And now she's looking to add another step to her, add another hat, or add another level to her real estate endeavors. And she wants to now become an appraiser, because now we've been getting challenges with all our deals on appraisals.
Yeah.
Now it's like, okay, well, let me see if I can work on that side. And, so I really got a team, like a real partner, what I'm saying, that's in it. Now, don't get it twisted. It get ugly, but we've been here before. See, when you got somebody that you've been there before with, it's almost like, okay, we've been here before. Again, we got to figure this shit out together. We got to put our heads down. We got to really, tap in and do what's necessary to get out of it. And that's kind of like, that's why when people talk, you hear all the highs. Oh, I got this check. Oh, I'm a millionaire. Oh, I got this. Oh, I got that. Oh, that's all cool. But right now where we at, we in this shit. Like it ain't where everybody, put it like this. Where we being tested at right now is going to be set up for something that's much bigger. So once we get through, this is what we know, that what's coming on the other side is going to be much bigger.
Yeah, that's normally how it works, man.
Yeah.
With me, I'll share this real quick. And my wife, it took a long time for us to learn how to really work together, man. When I say a long time, like a long time, it took several years. At one point, we couldn't even really work together. Mm-hmm. We just now started to learn how to work together over the last couple years, man. Mm-hmm. And it's not easy. It's not easy, man.
Not at all. The communication side is the biggest part. You know what I mean? For us, it's the communication. If we it gotta be some full transparency there.
Ooh, damn.
Full transparency. Because if it's not, that's all my wife is asking for, full transparency. Like, let me know what's going on early so I can be prepared. Because she's the thinker, overthinker. So, when it comes to that, it's just the full transparency. Like, yo, this is the situation where we at right now. And now we got to put our heads together and see how we can figure it out.
With somebody interested in getting into real estate, whether it's fix and flip, new construction, what's the mindset need to be, you think, to be successful in this space right now?
Man, you got to be in an unbelievable faith type of mindset. Because the challenge of learning something, and it's never like, bread and butter is wholesaling, right? My bread and butter is wholesaling. But when wholesaling slowed down, right, I had to pivot and get into something else. Now, this happened before to me. So when the market crashed last time, that's kind of like where I was at. It's about everybody that knows me know my faith. They like, man, this dude got like unbelievable faith. That's all he could do anything if his mind's to it. It's gonna work out for him. It's just who I am and how I've been able to sustain. I remember when people told me, man, when I first got started, I had an apartment. They're like, how you gonna sell a house and you in an apartment? They thought wholesaling was illegal. I'm like, all those things. So I had to face all those challenges. Now, mind you, when the market crashed, every house it would be like 10 houses on the street with for sale signs in front of them. You can't wholesale those houses. They were underwater. So I had to figure it out at that time. And that's kind of like where we going back to that right now. Figuring this shit out, man, because it ain't easy. Anybody telling you that, that it's going to be a easy run and you're going to make a lot of money, turn the other way. Man, it just ain't it.
In this business, I learned a long time ago, man, what you're doing today ain't going to work tomorrow. So you got to pivot. Technology is different. Like you said, when we started, it was fax machine. Then it went to e-fax. Now you can sign from the phone.
Right.
So a lot of stuff changed, man. How do you feel about where we're at right now in the Metro Atlanta market, man? Like, what's going on here?
Man, there's so many things going on in Atlanta. You got the World Cup coming. You got the
It's on you too, brother.
Oh, my bad. You got the Centennial Yards coming. These are big, major things that are coming to the city of Atlanta. I wasn't here when the Olympics came last time. I'm not from here, but that's how every time I hear somebody talk about the Olympics, what that did to the city of Atlanta. So I just feel like, the World Cup is going to be something real huge. And right now, with our mayor in office, everybody's preaching affordable housing. Right? So my gem for somebody that's starting out is to start low. If you're build something that you can possibly rent out affordable housing that you can hold on to. You know, get into some, it's all about, I will say this, it's all about residual income. You gotta have some residual income coming in. If you don't, it's tough out here.
How do you, so if I'm starting out, of course, we talked about education and mentorships are key. Mm-hmm. How would you, if you had to start all over again, how would you actually structure your deals to do that if you don't have the capital? Like, what's one way you think somebody or you would structure your deals?
Starting over?
Yeah.
I will be following the trends of what somebody that's successful is doing. We got some heavy hitters here in Atlanta, and a lot of us jumped into those areas that these heavy hitters, you know, were doing big business in. We just followed the trend. So when we saw them going over here creating comps, if I could find a house in that neighborhood, he just sold it for $220. If I can just make the numbers make sense over here, then I'll just do the same deal. Or I'll find a house and wholesale it to him because he just created his own comp.
Yeah.
And I did that a lot. I got well known from that Georgia RIA meeting that I went back to after I closed that first deal, because that's one thing that I did do. I kept all my business cards. So my first deal, I kept all my business cards. This is back when we had to keep business cards. So I had a big thing full of business cards. I called everybody about that one deal. And then, you know, I showed up to the Georgia RIA meeting and everybody was like, John, I saw you sold a deal. Hey, listen, anything else you get like that, here, I got a checkbook right here, ready to write you a check right now. It was different back then too. Like earnest money was given to people. So now it's totally different. So it's a huge story behind that, because people were running off of people's earnest money, and that's why everything changed. Now the attorneys hold the earnest money in their office. Back in the day, people were giving people earnest money. When my very first deal,
Damn.
The person that bought my deal from me, he came and bought me $1,000 cash.
Wow.
Yep.
Yeah, it's totally different now, man.
Yeah.
They got to go to an attorney or an escrow agent.
Yeah.
But that's
sure.
a gem. That's a gem within itself, man.
Yeah.
That's a gem within itself. Find out where the heavy hitters or people who are doing deals at.
And if you're near them, try to add value if you want to learn anything from them.
Yeah.
Nobody's doing a sit down cup of coffee type deal. You know, people they charging for that. Even back then, I can't think of this guy's name, but this dude, he wanted $5,000 to sit down and just have a cup of coffee. This was like 2000, even because we were having some hiccups and some challenges in 04, 05. He wanted $5,000. And that was then. So imagine to go sit down with somebody right now, 2024.
It sounds like I need to up my price. 5,000.
Oh, look at me. Look.
Ooh,
look
don't do it. Oh!
Set him up.
Boy, you put that thing on the edge. You put that thing on the edge. See, can I walk this thing down? Let me see, can
That's
I
a
walk
tough
it
shot.
down? Ooh, see,
Oh, now he starts shooting. Now he starts shooting. Y'all see him?
Yeah, walked it on in there. So let's change gears for a minute, man. This is a very controversial subject, but I'm gonna put it out there anyhow.
Okay.
You know, with the election coming up, it is an election year, man. Mm-hmm. Who do you think, whether it's somebody on the ballot or not, has the best potential, man, to get this country headed in the right direction, bro?
Man, that's an ongoing argument. I don't get into the politics side of that because that's just an ongoing argument. Right now, if you disagree with me, that's an ongoing argument, right? So I try not to even really get into that. Either way, we're gonna have to pivot with whoever gets elected. We've been having to pivot anyway, right? So I'm not even focused on who's being the election is. I am voting, but I'm not focused on that person dictating where I'm going in my direction.
Understood. And that's a good way to look at it, man, because no matter who's in the office, you can always win. You just got to know what your move is and how to navigate. Because there's always loopholes, there's always ways to do stuff.
Yep.
You just got to, see what situation is going to work out best for you.
Yep.
I don't see it, John. I don't see it.
Oh, It's still coming down, though.
Man, let me go ahead and get this thing up out of here.
It's set up for you, though, Gene. Oh, no, that's a tough shot.
So the other thing I've been seeing a lot, man, and I know you've seen. I think you might even invested in it because earlier you mentioned affordable housing. How do you feel about the tiny home community?
Man, the tiny home community is something that's very valuable. Most of the investors, and then one of the investors that's actually did the tiny home community, we did a couple of deals prior to him getting into that. He told me what he wanted to do, when he was going to do it, and how he was doing it. And, nobody really was, I'm not going to say nobody believed in it, but nobody can see everybody's vision. Like, your vision might be different from what my vision is, and you're locked in on your vision. You're going to make it happen. So now that's what he did. He made it happen. So he was able to, make that happen. And in my situation, I had to, he was able to get some nice money from me because I had to pivot because I was stretched too thin. So he got some free money from me. Let's just say that. But again, in this business, you have to prioritize yourself, and you can't stretch yourself too thin. Been there, done that, and that's how I know. When you start recognizing all these signs, like, okay, wholesaling ain't lasting forever. This is what's going on with the current market. The hedge funds came in. They own most of the properties in Atlanta, right? So every time a homeowner, you get on the phone with a homeowner or you're talking with a homeowner, the first thing they think is their property is going for this price.
Yep.
The funds came in and snatched and raised everything. Yep. See, I've been here before. The last market, right before the market crashed, I sold over 35 houses to a hedge fund, March of 2008. Over 35.
Man, the game, I never, at the time, I couldn't understand it, but now I do. Mm-hmm. And as time went past, because when we were going to the auctions, we were buying properties for 40, 50,000. Hedge funds was paying 80, 90. But the game is a long-term game.
For them.
So when you're thinking about 7, 10 years down the road, that's where all the money's made. One of the things that I've done in my business in terms of pivoting is not trying to build something and sell it in 12 months or 24 months. I'm raising money for people to come hold these properties with me. Number one is, as a general contractor or the deal maker, I could still pay myself a fee. So like, let's just take Rockwell, for example. Give you a scenario on structuring it. What did you buy the land for?
$90,000.
What was the bill cost?
What was the actual bill cost? About $400.
Okay, about $400. So even at, you in it 5 or whatever with the bill cost, if you position it the right way and you charge a $50K fee, the idea would be to charge a $50K fee, have an equity partner come in on it so you get paid for the work that's done. Maybe give them 70% and you keep 30% on the back end and hold it for 5 years. Because even at $550K investment, you already know in 5 years, that house might be selling $800,000.
Easy.
But on the back end, even at 30% on a $200,000 profit is 60 grand. Mm-hmm. And that's how I think like we got to start changing our mindset on how do we build wealth, but stop thinking about making that money in 12 months or 24 months when we can make what we need now for our work and then on the back end make more money. I make more money when I do a deal for 7 years because I'm gonna make my money up front. Mm-hmm. I might not make 100, 150 up front, but if I can put 50, 60 in my pocket and then on the back end have that other nut, mm-hmm. But then also too when you hold it, especially like with somebody with money, when you hold it, look at what they're gonna save on taxes or being able to appreciate that asset.
Facts.
So it's about, I ain't gonna say reinventing it, but just restructuring how we do these deals.
Oh, most definitely. But again, second build, so it's all about, for me, is keeping the money coming in and to build more residual income. Yep. So that's kind of like my position, and that's where I was at. Wholesaling's kind of slowed down a little bit. I had a couple deals, I had some interesting deals that went left on me. But Got to keep pushing, man. It's just, that's the thing. You know, nobody want to talk about that side. Nobody want to talk about when things slow down, and got to keep pushing.
Got to keep pushing, man. And when the market slowed down on me in 2018, that's when I really started to kind of put these strategies in place, man. Because when I had in 18, I had 7 or 8 properties I couldn't sell.
Okay.
And I'm like, if I sold them, I would have lost money or broke even. But when you put so much work in a property, it's hard to take that L like that. But being in that situation, I had all these hard money loan payments I couldn't make because I was running out of money. So I got to a situation where I pretty much ran out of money. But with doing that and put myself in that situation, it's something about being in a hard situation. It forces you to think outside the box. So what it did was it forced me to think outside the box, and it forced me to go raise money. And what I found was that it's easier for me to raise money on a property I already have versus a property that I want to build, because people can see it and walk through it.
Right. So
when I start looking at, okay, I can get $250 on this property today, potentially, but in a few years I can get $350, I could just raise $50,000 to $75,000, have them come in and help me refinance it, and I put money in my pocket, and that's what happened, man. I got $50,000 to $75,000 of property, so I was able to put $300,000-$400,000 in my pocket, keep them joints, and then when COVID hit, it was like we already had inventory. So even the projections that we had on those properties went through the roof.
For sure.
Ooh, this is a tough shot, man. I don't want to chance it.
Yeah, man, live a little.
Yeah, I don't want to chance that.
Uh-oh.
Ooh, I tried to get it.
I'm going.
Get it from the back end.
Side.
So what's your next big move, man?
My next move currently right now is finding some more opportunities, man. Just finding more opportunities to build on. I'm looking to get into that space of multifamily, long-term, buy and hold, things like that. That's my next move.
So what's the master plan on how you gonna pivot over there?
Just look at that. That's crazy. Just liquidating, man. Liquidating as much as possible to get in a position personally, on business on my side, and like you said, bringing in other partners and doing it as a community versus trying to do it all myself. That I can't do. I'm not even going to try to take that on. I'm just not what I did learn, like you said earlier, I can't do certain things. If I can't do it, I'm not going to, I can't do it. I need some help. There's nothing wrong with asking for help, getting some other partners and getting other people that have that knowledge in that space like we talked about, that's already doing it.
Yep.
So.
And that's the biggest thing that I'm learning over the last few years, man. It's just partnerships and creating the right partnerships, bro, because we can't do it all by ourselves.
Nah.
Like when you see these big development deals, a lot of times that's, a fund or a private equity. It ain't like one guy just got a $25, $100 million project.
No.
It's people's pool money together to make it happen. So I think just to go back to my original question, because this helps me and helps you, is just we got to start thinking differently. We have to start thinking long term. And we have to use what we have, which is our knowledge of real estate, because our knowledge is so valuable that a lot of people don't have this knowledge, bro. When you can find a deal, that's one of the...
Oh, that's what it is.
That's priceless.
If anybody's talking about...
when you can build a deal, come on, man, you control the market. Only thing that we're missing is the capital.
Right. But once you know how to find a deal and you know how to build a deal, the capital is going to come.
It's going to come.
Yes, that won't be the hard part.
Man, this might be the second longest game of pool.
Man, for me too. I'm struggling right now, man. Come on, man, stop. Don't do that to me.
Okay. Whoever get that next ball in got an easy layup.
It's gonna be tough.
Just don't set me up, man.
Ooh. Get around him. Just stay right there. Oh yeah, he got to go down. It's sitting on it's sitting on there. Yeah, it's behind it for real.
If I can get this one in, really make a difference.
Just don't miss, Gene.
And you ever thought about, so I know y'all travel a lot, you ever thought about like out of the country investments?
Oh, for sure. Out of the country investments is kind of like, good shot.
Oh, hell no.
Don't come over by me.
Come on,
Look
stop.
at that. That's
stop.
crazy.
It wouldn't have counted because I didn't call it.
Out of the country investments is kind of like where it's at. Look, of course, I got a horrible shot.
Man, everywhere I go, bro, like we were in Mexico and from Cancun to Tulum, it was just nothing but like construction, man, everywhere. Because I've been looking at like diversifying too, because cash flow, I have a lot of rental properties, and the misconception of rental properties is that, oh, let me get 20 rentals, I'm gonna be straight and live off the cash flow. The reality of it is, shit don't really cash flow. I got a couple free and clear, of course, they good, but a lot of times when you get that loan on your rental property, you might get $400 a month on it, $300, sometimes $500. The problem is when a water heater goes out or a tenant moves out, that one little lick makes the property either break even or negative for the year. So, when I look at my rental properties, I don't really make hardly any money on my rentals. The value of the rentals, because they're in good areas, is really just been the equity play.
All right.
So I've been able to refinance and pull cash out on a few of them, but they don't really cash flow. So my thing has been, what other real estate vehicles can I do to create them large sums of, or bigger sums of cash? Airbnb has been one. I want to add more to the Airbnb, but Airbnb is so many people doing it.
Yep.
You really got to have like something unique about that property to really make it do what it needs to do. Like you got to be on the water. You got to have. It has to be like an experience for the person.
For sure. Oh, for sure. That's the biggest thing.
Ooh.
Come on. Look at that.
Ooh, did he get it in? Oh, this might be. It might be over. This might be a wrap. Can he do it?
That's
the
a lot
pressure.
There's normally green. That's a lot of black on there,
At the
man.
crib, man. I'm undefeated at the crib.
Uh-oh.
Oh shit. Well, that would have been the easiest.
Look at this. Don't go back. Stop.
Yeah.
Let's walk him.
Man, you ever? I know we both use hard money. You ever? Damn, that's game now. You ever tried to look into like bank loans or other sources of capital for deals?
Yeah, for sure. It's just really positioning. Being in position for those things is critical. And when you're getting into some of these properties and you don't have that residual, you're kind of getting stretched too thin. Everything's being challenged. So it's just about being in that position to be able to talk to the bank. You know what I mean? Like credit can be good, but if everything is stretched, your utilization, it can't look like that on paper to a bank. Yeah. They'll see you having an asset and they see what you're doing, but to them it's like a risk. Yeah. Like they waiting for the upside is you're selling and make money, but what happens if you don't? So I had those conversations too, but it's all about the relationships and networking and talking to the right people. I got a slew of relationships just being in the business and in the integrity and who I've been in the business. I've sold houses to people that made money. I sold houses you made money with.
Yeah. I think the last one we did together, it was like probably about a 6-figure check.
Yeah, it was.
In Riverdale.
I remember we talked about that one.
In Riverdale.
So like stuff like that. So now relationships, now I come back tenfold. You might have lenders that you might introduce me like you did to just the relationships to You might have an asset right now. I'm looking for land or my next move. You might have a play where you say, well, John, I got this play. Or I know somebody that got this land over here or whatever. So it's just about, networking and talking to the right people and being in the right space.
For sure.
Yeah, man.
Well, that's a lay down right there, man.
Yep.
That is a lay down. Hey, you made that look easy, even though it wasn't easy, man. Dropped a lot of good gems on the podcast, man. Appreciate you coming through, my brother.
Hey, man, I appreciate you for inviting me to come through, man.
Yeah. I need one final note, man. If you had to say just one thing to anybody who's currently in real estate, going through some stuff, man, what's your advice to them, bro?
When you got started in real estate, what you're going through right now, you're in it. But when you got started, you had to start somewhere. You already in it. So just pivot, keep going. Keep a positive, clear mindset. Do something that you enjoy doing every day to keep your mindset clear. That's what me and my wife do. We work out. I try to get some shots up in the gym just to, keep a good mental space. Spend time with family. Anything that's going to help you keep your mind or keep you from going in the wrong direction of your mindset.
Appreciate that, man.
Yeah.
Trust the process.
Trust the process.
Go through it to get through it.
In it.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.